Good morning, everybody. We have Theron Dodd here from Mr. Reese's 5th grade class to say the pledge. Good morning, Theron. Everybody stand. Place your right hand on your heart. Oh, just a minute. I got to turn off the volume. All right. Are you ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, Theron. Have a great day. I have a few announcements, and I see Mrs. Everhart is here as well. So, first of all, I just want to say that 1st and 2nd grade STEAM clubs start tonight. After school, it's Mondays and Tuesdays for the next 3 weeks, so we meet 6 different times. So 1st and 2nd grade teachers, I have a list that I will be bringing around shortly this morning, so you know exactly who's in the STEAM clubs. The students should just leave all of their things in their lockers after school and come down to the multi-purpose room and find I will be in there and show them where they will be seated. And the clubs go right after school until 4:15 on Mondays and Tuesdays until March 26th. I do have some winners from the book fair, but we'll let Mrs. Everhart maybe talk first, and then I can share those winners, and then I'm going to be calling people down by grade levels to pick their prizes so that I don't have the 40-some students here all at once picking posters and books. So, Mrs. Everhart.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, my nose is dripping. And I think I heard that we're working on getting the heat going on, so it's a building-wide thing that's happening.
It's a little chilly in the library
So
today.
remember, boys and girls, it is still winter. Okay, still winter time, so make sure that you bring sweatshirts and sweaters, anything that you could put over a t-shirt, because it's still going to be kind of chilly for a few days. But I'm here to talk to you guys about our cool tools. So 4th grade did a great job at the assembly, and this month for March we are working on perseverance. Okay, perseverance is when you don't give up doing something even though it's hard or if it takes a long time. And technically, the definition is when you keep doing something despite the difficulty or delay in achieving success. And I think this is extremely important, boys and girls, because today, like nowadays, we expect things to happen right away. You guys have the internet at your fingers with your phones. You want instant results, and guess what? Sometimes it doesn't happen. Like, I want you to think back to when you were trying to tie your shoes. You didn't get it right the first time. You have to keep trying. Or riding your bike without training wheels. It's hard. It's hard, and if you don't get it, it's okay. And I always tell this story because my son Gavin, he's in 5th grade, so he's going to be in 6th grade just like all you other 5th graders. And up until this past year, he would have spelling tests. He would have spelling tests every week from kindergarten until 4th grade. And guess what? He would get so frustrated if he didn't get the words right, like if we practiced them, if he didn't get them right the first time. And I said, buddy, it's okay. You're not supposed to get them right. This is supposed to practice. So I know that the 4th grade team did a great job in giving you guys examples of Dr. Seuss, how he didn't give up and he had great success, J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter. But I have a few more that I wanted to tell you guys about to really put it in perspective that even those people, they didn't give up, but sometimes it takes a long time. So I have 3 examples for you guys. So anyone know who Julia Childs is? She's a cook. She wrote a really successful cookbook called Mastering the Art of French Cooking. Now this was written in 1961, and guess what? This cookbook changed cooking for people around the world, but it didn't happen overnight. It took her 10 years to finish the book, write it, perfect it, and it pretty much launched her career. So think about it, 10 years to write a cookbook of things that you just make. James Cameron, anyone know who James Cameron is? Like Titanic or Avatar? So he worked on the movie Avatar for 15 years. Think about it, 15 years. That's like longer than all you guys are like alive. You're a freshman and sophomore in high school. 15 years. It is the most successful film in the history of movies. It took him 15 years. This is the one where, like, with the blue people, Avatar, it was, I think it came out in 1999, but it is the most successful film in the history of all films, and it took him 15 years to make that. And the last one, I'm going to throw some stuff out, history here for you. So, January 3rd, 1870. Fifth graders, you guys know what date that is? January 3rd, 1870.
I don't think so.
No? It's okay, you probably wouldn't know it. So that's the date that ground was broken on building the Brooklyn Bridge. So you guys know what the Brooklyn Bridge is?
Mm-hmm.
No? So the Brooklyn Bridge connects Manhattan and New York to Brooklyn. So they're two separate cities. So it is a big, like, monumental, when you think of New York City, you think of the Statue of Liberty, and then you also think of the Brooklyn Bridge. But it took over 10 years to complete the Brooklyn Bridge, and many lives were lost. Think about it, back in 1870, they didn't have all of these machinery to help. But it took 10 years to make that bridge. And to date, the Brooklyn Bridge stands as a symbol of New York. And 135 years later, it brings, guess how many people it brings? It brings 43 million people back and forth every year from Manhattan to Brooklyn. So that's how many people cross that bridge. So not only did I want to remind you guys not to give up on, like, the little things, like tying your shoes, working on your spelling words, riding a bike, or those math problems like dividing fractions and multiplying fractions that are super hard for me. But don't forget, it takes time. You're not going to be perfect at it the first time. Okay, it takes time. I want you to work hard. Don't forget to practice. That's why we have homework. Practice, practice. Don't give up. And most importantly, if you don't understand something, ask for help. Okay, ask for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. And nothing that lasts is accomplished quickly. So that pretty much means that things don't happen overnight. Sometimes, you just might be really good at something, but you need to work at it. Work hard. Okay, so perseverance, that's what we're going to be working on for this month, and especially with forward testing coming up next week already. We're going to keep plugging and trucking at it. Okay, don't give up, just keep working at it. And there we have.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank
And
you.
I do have attendance. If you guys look at the attendance board, it's updated, but the book fair stuff is in front of it. So when it's updated, it's okay. When it's gone, just take a look. We're going to get the attendance scores back up. I know it.
Perfect. The
Thanks,
book
Ms.
fair's
Marshall.
supposed to get picked up today, so that should be out of there very soon. All right, I'm going to announce these also on the announce over the PA system so everybody can hear the winners. So I'm going to say the names, and then I'm going to just call down the winners on the PA so I don't have everybody here at once. So from P4J is Maddie Stevenson, Hudson, Hamill, and Monica. And from EC is Tristan and Ethan. And from kindergarten, I have Mark Carrillo and Leah from Mrs. Shar's room, Jake and Jesus from Mrs. Shear's room, and Hunter Luther from Mrs. Ranson's room. In first grade, I have Jacob from Mrs. Mentink's, Isabel Quinn from Miss Masterson's, Mackenzie from Miss Masterson's, Renata from Miss Ernest, and Evelyn from Miss Ernest. In second grade, Mateo from Mrs. Moyle, Oscar from Mrs. Moyle, Nevea Moore from Miss Peterson's, Brenna Gibbs from Mrs. Sweeney's, and Jennifer from Mrs. Sweeney's class. In third grade, we have Armando from Mrs. Dunmore's, Zayden from Mrs. Jansen, Daniel Cruz from Mrs. Dunmore, Jamie from Mrs. Jansen, and Yami from Mrs. Freeman. In fourth grade, we have Bradley from Mrs. Gilligan's, America from Mrs. Gilligan's, Damian from Mrs. Gilligan's, Kiana Updike from Miss Smith's, Maya from Miss Smith's, and Lena from Miss Smith's. In fifth grade, we have Izzy from Mr. Reese, Peyton Ford from Mr. Reese, and Joseph Steffen from Mr. Reese. And in Miss Vasquez's, we have Kaylee, Francisco, and Aiden from Miss Vasquez. So I will call those names and have you guys come down and pick out either a poster or a book. So thanks so much for coming to conferences and for coming to the book fair. So everybody have a great day.